This episode is sponsored by Zenro Clothing Co. Pick up your tees and or accessories at zenroclothingco.com and be sure to use offer code Socrates at checkout for 20% off select items. Also, if you're not into spending the money, just check out the Zenrail radio playlist. zenrailclothingco.com, music for your everyday. This episode also sponsored by The Pointy Bakery. If you're located in the Pointy area of Scarborough, Toronto, be sure to check out The Pointy Bakery, say what's up to Arville, and pick up a donut or two. Baked daily, crafted with love. This episode also sponsored by Podbean. Podbean is the podcasting platform of choice. It's the one that me and Vish use, and is great, you know, if you're looking to start that DIY podcast yourself. Definitely check out Podbean. Use the link podbean.com/SocraticGamers and gain 1 month of unlimited podcasting for free. Test it out, build that content. Anyone could podcast, right, Vish?
Yep.
Start a podcast and get your ideas out there. All right, enjoy the episode. Okay, so we are back after 2-week hiatus, and in that time, and I will call this Vish got married. So Vish got married. Yeah, you got married and then hit on Monaco. That's why we had the 2-week hiatus. But I was asking you about the bracelet because I wanted one, because I know that in your traditions that you guys give away like these Raksha Bandhas.
Raksha Bandhan, yeah. Or that's the festival name.
Whoa, sorry. You hear that? That was my laundry going off. I forgot to turn that off. Sorry, you were giving away these, in your culture, you give away Raksha Bandhans, but that's a festival.
Yeah.
Okay, so I really like that your culture has bracelets. Because they're like kind of like they're like triggers. You know, like those kids that used to wear like rubber bands, and then every time they'd like think a bad thought, they'd like snap the rubber band.
Oh yeah.
To like, you know what I mean, right? So it's kind of like that for me. So I was like, that's why I find bracelets really fascinating. And I noticed that you're sporting a new one, and I was like, how come you didn't give those away at your wedding? And I was asking your cousin. It turns out I thought it was your uncle. But I asked your brother after, and it was your cousin, and he was saying that, like, yeah, we don't give them out for these things. But I was hoping to get a bracelet. So explain your bracelet now.
No, this thing is just like after the wedding, we went to a temple, and then the priest put that on, both of us.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
So it's part of some ritual. So
okay. I was going through, I silenced my phone, sorry. I was going through this whole phase with Tara when we got back from our trip, or maybe prior to our trip, something like that. And we were visiting all these temples, and one of the things there is we like went to, maybe it was a Hindu temple, maybe it was a Sri Lankan temple, I'm not too sure, but it was like a temple, and then there was a priest there who like tied these like strings on us, like you have, right? So is it supposed to be like it stays there until it falls off because it's like protection charm or something like that?
I have no idea.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then this will be interesting when I ask you about your wedding. So what was okay? So I actually really like this style of wedding more than the traditional Western wedding. I was saying that at the table, like we were sitting at with like Wob and them. But then I kind of felt bad because I was like, ooh, everyone else here had a Western wedding. So I was like, actually, I shouldn't have said that. But I like it better because there's like drumming and like the rituals that you do is almost like as if you were in a community of huts and then you were going through an actual ritual. What I imagine like Jewish weddings to be like too. You know, where they like step on the glass and stuff. Like, I like that old school tradition. Like we do have it here, or maybe I'm just jaded because I've grown up in like the church, so it's like boring for me.
I think it
but
depends.
You had like,
I think it may depend on the cultural, because this is like Hinduism is such a very old thing, right? It has all these things. I feel like probably in other areas they have certain differences, even within Christianity, if they bring in their own cultural stuff, part of it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Because in the Philippines, they do the tying, like they tie a rope around you as well, and like symbolize like your connection forever and stuff.
Right.
But that's not like within the traditional like Christian concept.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that's traditional to your culture, right? So those things, some of them, these things do stay on, even with the with these Abrahamic religions, but it's more of a, like, for the Hindu stuff, it's very festival kind of thing, right? They make it so big.
Yeah. Okay, totally. But yours is more of like a Sri Lankan wedding, right? Versus a Hindu one, or no? Am I wrong?
Well, it's still Hindu. It's still Hindu, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay,
because they're all Hindu. Because it's still the Hindu gods. They're all there, right?
Oh, is this sort of like
it's cultural? So what he's saying, I think what you're saying is, it's still all in the category of Hindu, but then you'd have, again, the word Hindu is, again, British term, right? So it's not like it's to, they just couldn't explain it in a way how to explain all of this in one thing. So it's just Hindu.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But they're all, like, the gods are there. Like Ganesha was there in the, like, when you're entering in, you saw the Ganesha statue, right? So it's like, that's all, like, that's Hindu stuff.
Okay.
So culturally, what I mean is, like, culturally, it has very symbolisms to, like, the Tamil style wedding. So. And South Indian too. Like, South Indian has similar things too. It's not all. It's just one specific thing.
Wait, is Tamil the same as Sri Lankan, or was I being, like, culturally insensitive there?
No, it can be the same, because there's Tamil people also in India too. It's not just Sri Lanka.
Okay, cool. So it would be similar to, like, evangelical Christian and, like, Catholic.
Sure.
It's like you guys basically the same, like, you believe in the same things, but we're separating according to...
There will be, they're just, because, it's like, you think about it, like, in India, it's like neighboring, like, provinces. We call it provinces here, we call it states over there. They speak different languages. So it's like... Right, okay. There will be changes in cultural as well, right? Certain traditions or things will be different. But there are similarities as well as differences. Both exist within, like, one, like, just cross the border. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like,
no, totally. That's interesting, because it's like,
because even, like, there was like a he used to be a colleague, but his wife was asking certain things, practices that we were doing were different, because she's from North India and they do it very differently over there compared to us. So it's like, they didn't. She was asking questions to, like, my other, like, Tamil colleagues, like what's happening now. Like, she didn't even know. She didn't understand some of the stuff too. It's different.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating. Yeah, it's weird, because, like, when you think about this umbrella, like, if you like look into it deeper, you're like, oh, it's just an umbrella of the same kind of thing, right? But we're looking at it superficially, like, these are all separate things, you know? Like, even with the Abrahamic religion, right? I was explaining to somebody about, like, Jewish people, Catholic people, and Muslim people. They're all the same thing. Like, they literally believe the same thing, but it's just separated by, like subtle differences.
Yeah.
You know?
And even within like, again, within Christianity, you have different sects.
Totally.
Even within Jewish religion, you have different sects. Even within Muslim religion, you have different sects too.
Yeah, so totally. So how many religions are there when you really think about it?
That's true.
No, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you actually count it, it's like, oh, maybe it's just 3 religions. That we call them, like, thousands of religions, but, like, no, but you guys believe in the same things.
Right. Yeah.
You're separating it as, like, it's not really the same religion. Or, like, how would you put that? How many?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. Like, as an umbrella, it's all a religion, right? But as the terminology is one, but then it's every, like, the branch of it is all, like, slightly differences here and there and there, but it's all leads to the same thing.
Yeah, totally. Like, off the top of my head, I can only think of, like, Hinduism, Egyptian religion, and Greeks too.
Yeah,
Romans are actually Greek, so that's interesting. Like, they just switched the names. Like, Nike is, I forgot who the person was. But so basically, Mars, God of War, same person, right? And then it says 4, and then Abraham, Hindu, Egyptian, Greek. No, it's And then what else?
Well, I would say dharmic religion if you say Hinduism. Like dharmic, would you include Buddhism, Jainism?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because they all come from the same thing. So it's like that's 4. Yeah, there really isn't that many. And then indigenous cultures.
Yeah.
Like who believe in like the land. I'd call that like secular religions because they believe in like nature.
Right. You know, but I feel like yeah, they're very much closer, I would say. Like again, that's what's like Hinduism is such a there are very like rooted to nature as well, right? It depends on where you're at.
That's true. Yeah. That's true too. I like that idea of dharmic religions. That's funny. It's like dharmic religion, Abrahamic religion. That's a great way to group them.
Yeah.
I never thought about it like that. Because Buddhism, Taoism, it all has its origin in Hinduism.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the
current knowledge. It does.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that to the current knowledge, but like we don't know what was there before Hinduism. Like what parts of it came from where. But it's just our current knowledge of it. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go back to your wedding really quick. What I found interesting was the drumming. Mm-hmm. That was the coolest part about it because okay, so it's so interesting. I'm getting like all like spiritually deep here, but what they're saying in Taoism, because I reread that book, it's about how you change, like life is a vibration. Okay, but we know that through like atoms because they're always vibrating, right? And what they're saying is if you want to change your perspective or your emotion on life, you change the vibration. And then what I've been doing a lot recently is like, what's the quickest vibration we have? Music. Mm-hmm. That's why music can change your mood.
Yeah.
Right? Because like it is literally a vibration. Like sound waves are vibrations into your ear, and then they change your psychology. Like that vibration literally changes your psychology. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So what I found interesting about your wedding compared to like Abrahamic weddings is that Abrahamic weddings are more chanty. Like they're like soothing and like hymns. Mm-hmm. Like you went to church before with me, right? Remember you meant like those like hymns and they were so like they're boring, right? But like with yours, it's like the drum, you can't rhythmically not be into it.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like your head's just gonna start nodding because it's like that beat, like
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why like I think EDM music is so popular.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I was just thinking of it like in movies, right? Like the movies really use music in a really good way to get you into a certain mood. So it's like at specific moments or at what do you call it, integral moments in the wedding, that's where the drums were going, right?
Yes, I knew that. Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, not knew that, but I noticed that. It was like as you were doing something, it would crescendo.
This is an important part. This is an important part.
And then it would die back down. And you're like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, that's so fascinating. I love that. But it's you did that.
Because I feel like it's also with Indian weddings or whatever, Tamil weddings or this Hindu wedding stuff. It's more, even though it's very festival for the marriage aspect, it's very much about the audience is to have like a good time, good meals, all that kind of stuff. So when they're eating and stuff, it's like, oh, here's an important part. We got to pay attention. It's like,
yeah.
It's all of that kind of thing.
But that's what made it feel like more cultural as well. Mm-hmm. Whereas like in other, like it felt like a tribe. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's like
no. Yeah, I get
like if
that.
there were tents, you know, you're just like, oh, they're just doing their thing, and then like let's go do our thing, and then like okay, let's pay attention again, you know. And it might have been like, you could have been like, oh, that's kind of rude because we're not paying attention to the ceremony, but it's like, it's almost like everyone gets married, and this is just that person in their tribe's celebration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like, I feel like in Abrahamic religions, they're like really shoving it down your throat. Like you're sitting in the pew, stand, sit, sing the song. Like you just get so bored because you're like, I don't know what you're saying and I have to pay attention to this thing. But like with yours, it's like, I can get some food. I can come back. I can converse with somebody. Oh, wait, like they're going to do something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes what happens is like, I guess because we can go into all sorts of, we can like see the Abrahamic ones or the other types of religions, marriage ceremonies, right? So what I feel like what tend to have happened is because Indian weddings can be long, so this was technically short, right? But like I feel like the Abrahamic weddings were just trying to figure out how to make it shorter and shorter.
Oh yeah,
and more simpler.
Because it's only an hour. Yeah,
more simpler and simpler. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, what was the? Did you understand what they were doing at the? All right, so because you were doing a bunch of cultural stuff, and did you pre-rehearse that, or were you learning it on the day?
Well, I watched her brother's video just to kind of get an idea of what I was supposed to be doing. But but each priest is going to be different in the process too.
And do they explain what they're doing as you're doing it?
Yeah, in some parts that he was explaining, like you're praying to this person, or you're praying to this, and you're playing. I think there was one part I remember, like you're praying to the 9 planets.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Maybe that's what it is that attracts me to this. It's the shamanic aspect of it. Mm-hmm. I feel like in this version of like a wedding, it's more shamanistic than what we have. Like what we have probably, Western, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Western culture is very like superficial. You're kind of like, I don't really know why I'm doing this, and like we gotta do all this, whatever. But like I think other than your style of wedding, the coolest wedding for me would be like if you're in a hut with like a shaman and he's like blowing smoke in your face and like you're getting like a little high there. You know what I mean? Like it'd be pretty sick. Right. Because then it's like your spirits are merging kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was closer to what I was witnessing than what I see at like Christian weddings.
Right.
Like you don't get that spiritual element, but I like the spiritual element of like Hinduism.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's just like me. I don't know, because I find that so attractive. You know, like
well, it's that's why it's like I like it in the aspect of you're looking into history. Like this is been going on for so long.
That's what was fascinating to me. I was like, but with like Western weddings, it's more like, oh, this is a colonization version of like what you want us to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't like I was peering through time in that moment.
Yeah, it is. I was very much going into history. Yeah,
and I was like trying to imagine, like if you had like huts around, like what would it be like?
Generally, it would be outside. There would probably be more of a bigger fire because you can't do.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So sick. Yeah. What else about that? You know what I noticed about your culture as well? You guys love your sweets, man. This is like, like it's so they were passing around this like these. Maybe there was a spiritual significance, but I love Jared because like when we traveled together, it's very much like when in Rome. You know, like whatever you guys are doing, I'm gonna do this too, right? So like, there's some stuff there. Like there was.
Well, luckily for Jared, everything was vegetarian, so he was safe.
I know, true. Yeah, facts. They had this like leaf with something red in the center.
Okay, I don't know because I didn't get to eat everything, so you guys ate everything, right?
But I don't even know what it was. Like we weren't sure what this thing was, but then people were like, "You wrap that thing in the leaf and you eat it." So I was like, "All right, cool."
Oh, okay, yeah. Like pan? Was it sweet or was it like salty?
It was kind of like it was sweet, but it also had like
bitterness to it as well.
No, it's like saffrony. Like
it
had like
I think
very
it's called
weird...
pan if you're saying with the leaf as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then when we were standing throwing something at you, I can't remember. It wasn't like rice. Like what was that thing we were throwing? They were leaves. They were passing around flowers.
Okay.
Flower petals. Yeah. And then we were like throwing that at you. Somebody walked around with like a tray of stuff, and they're like, "Hey, take this." And we're like, "Okay, spiritual significance, we'll take it." So me and Jay were just eating it, and then we're like, "Wait, these are sugar cubes." And then she's like, "Yeah, they're just sugar." And we're like, "You got to lower your sugar, bro." Like everything was like, but it's so interesting because it's like it's such a juxtaposition of like the spice, and then the sweet. But I think that counters each other.
Yeah.
Does it?
I think so. Like I think that's why they have both. They're extremes on both, right? You can be very spicy as well as they like the sweets too, right? It's like the balance
totally.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah. fascinating. But it's interesting too because I feel like you need to habituate to that kind of food.
I think so.
Remember I told you I was like, oh man, I was sick because it was like too hot and then like just too much sugar and my body was not used to like.
I think what people do generally, that's why when they eat spicy food, they also have like they finish the food or the meal with yogurt.
Okay, so I didn't do that.
Yeah, so that's what settles it, I think.
Interesting. Okay, but then like because I don't really eat that much candy. Or like sugar, like everything's like sugar free. So when I was like bombarded with sugar, my body was like, "What are you eating?" Like to process all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fascinating. Oh, one thing I really liked too, was there was this moment where they were taking stuff around and we had to put our hands on something, right? But I didn't know what it was, and then I was asking your brother like what was that thing that we were doing, and then he was saying like we are blessing the dress that she's gonna put on.
As well as the tali, the necklace thing. I think that was on there as well.
For you or
no, for her. Like what I'm going to put on her. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's so cool.
So yeah. Even that was different too. It's like I believe in my culture, it's just like immediate family, I think, or like a small amount. Where her side, it's everybody that's there.
No, but that's really cool too, because like you are. It's interesting because like when you think of it scientifically, you're like, this makes no sense. But it's like, no, there's a spiritual element to life. Like when I say spiritual, I mean like psychological element.
Yeah.
You that everyone touched this thing. Like the string on your wrist is just a string on your wrist. But then if you remember the narrative, it's like, no, this was given to me by a priest.
You're right.
Like narratives are how we govern the world, right? And that's the spiritual component. So I thought it was really fascinating that, we're like blessing this thing and like the ritual of it, like we're giving good vibes to the next stage.
Yeah.
What was it, the clothes thing? Like, is there a reason why they switched, or is it just for the blessing?
The switch is that these clothes are coming from my family to her. So
that's cool.
So then she goes and she changes into that, right? And when she comes out, then the tali, that's the necklace thing that happens. That's the major significance.
Okay, interesting.
To solidifying the connection.
Interesting. So, do you have rings in your culture?
Rings.
Is that kind of like what it was?
Which part? Yeah.
Like,
rings.
No, like rings. Like
yeah.
Okay, so you actually do. You do give rings.
I
wasn't sure if that was like a Western thing.
It's not just like one ring. So like when.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think you're in the beginning part. When I was entering, I have to give a ring to her, like someone from her side.
Okay.
And then, like that's the first ring, and then.
Wait, you give a ring to her family?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, like the rings between me and her. Or at the end, right? I feel like that's a bit changed. I don't know how much how much is modern, or traditional to it. I don't know. But the tali thing is the more important aspect.
That's what I would think, because like they didn't make rings back then. Oh, maybe they did.
They did, but it's like the significance of how we use it now is very Western, I think. Then.
Totally. Yeah. Because I was reading about why we wear rings on the ring finger, and it was saying that it ties to like there's a nerve that connects to your heart, and that's why you like it's simple. Like this is more of a Western concept. It's not a Hindu one. Like it's more along down the line. That's why I was like, is this more of a Western thing, like wearing wedding rings, or
I don't know when it changed or how it changed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know when or how it changed, or was it always there? I'm not too sure. I don't.
The tali makes sense. It's like you'd put nothing.
Yeah.
Like even if you look at like Jesus' time, right? Like Joseph wasn't wearing a wedding ring. That's more of like a new age.
It changed. Yeah.
It'd be really cool if you solidified it with some sort of like tattoo. But not like a tattoo gun, but like a tapper. That'd be so sick, bro. You know what I mean? Like, That would be such a dope like shamanic thing. You'd
Right.
like go into the tent, and then they do the thing, and then they would solidify it with like a permanent mark on you. Kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know
I'm
what
sure there
other
might be
places do
there
that.
for other cultures that have that.
True, yeah. Is that cultural appropriation if I would did like do that? Like I was like, I would love to have this kind of wedding. Tara's like, this is not our culture. I was like, okay, fair.
No,
But
I
it would
don't
be
think so.
say,
I don't know. I don't view things as cultural appropriation. I think it's if you understand where it's coming from and the
yeah,
significance that
facts.
you have to it, you're adding the significance, like what it represents. I don't think there's an issue with that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I heard this thing on this podcast. I was listening to Joe Rogan talk about it basically, and he was saying that he was a latchkey kid. So
What does that mean?
I yeah, exactly. I was like, do you mean like a latch and a key? Like a latch key? So basically what he said is during his time, they would just go outside and then they would just like play, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
go like for adventures, you can go biking, like nobody knew where you were compared to today where it's like you have cell phones. And I was like, oh, that's what we grew up in. But he said that that's actually not good psychologically for kids because school is meant to teach you how to become an office worker, right? Like to sit still. But kids who spend a lot of time outside, like they just weren't like they wanted to escape back into that,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I feel like I identified with that a lot. And I was like, is that why we're more like cultural appropriation? Like a kid who's in an office would be like, that's cultural appropriation because that fits the box. But we're like, well, anything goes
Right.
because we were thinking in terms of that, like there are no rules,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Yeah, like I'm just wondering if like our upbringing kind of forced us in that direction of like there are no rules. Like if you like it, do it. You know? Because when I ask you like, what if I did a wedding like that? You're like, if you understand the significance, makes sense.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? But somebody else would be like, no, because we're in this box, and this box
Right.
is, well, like I don't know. What do you think? Yeah,
It might
right,
be it
kind
might
of.
be part of that. We don't know what our where our foundations of these things or thoughts come from, right? So it could be that
Yeah,
exploration thing, and but then
that's what I mean, right?
it's like I don't yeah, but we liked all sorts of things, right? Like it's not like
Oh, maybe we just had like a propensity towards it, and that's why we were spending time. It's like the chicken and the egg.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
did that affect us, or are we already like that?
right.
Yeah, Drew. Okay, okay. What else about your wedding? I can think of the jasmine in the hair. That
Uh
was
huh.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
is there significance to that, or is that just like,
I'm not sure. Maybe just like traditional thing
oh, okay, it's like
to
we
do.
just give these away. Okay.
But
Yeah. So that's really, yeah.
like for me, it's like because I don't know. It seemed to have gone fast. Like it's still like
No, it fell fast. I was like, oh, this is quick.
no, I know, but it's like from like probably even faster for me. But like to really know what exactly all the things to remember all the things that have happened,
Oh, yeah, true,
it
true,
can be a little
true.
bit blurry at times. Yeah, of what were like
Right,
the
because
events.
you're so in the moment, you're like, oh, I gotta do this now. Okay, I gotta pay attention to this.
Yeah.
That's true. Even like
Because I was trying to
the
pay attention
photos.
to the priest or whatever I have to do, so I'm really like paying attention, right? So it's like
Right, right,
it's
right,
hard
right.
to know what's exactly happening around around you.
No, but that's really cool because it's like that is like present moment awareness where like
Yeah.
time just like there is no such thing as time because you're
hmm
so into that moment,
hmm
I remember what I want to
But
ask.
then you have to remember, like the
Yeah.
videos are on you. There's like a live video going, so it's like
Oh, facts. Yeah,
you got
yeah,
to
yeah,
keep a
yeah.
smile out of your face. It's like
Yeah, that's true. That's so funny that you say that. Like, so okay. I wonder how many people realize that they're being watched. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me give this context. You knew that the cameras were on you,
yeah.
so you're like, I have to make sure that I'm smiling because this is gonna be captured forever. But when you're doing like a Zoom meeting, I'm like, we can all see you, right? So, so why are you gonna put that
Right.
like that mean face, like when they go like, this is the worst when you ha. And then you're like, so it's like, I don't know if you really found that funny or like the switch was too quick, but like
Yeah.
you're like too serious, yeah. But anyways, or like when you're like on Zoom and they're like, and you're like, yo, you could be seen, right? when you're like looking bored, but you don't think about it because there's no people in front of you.
Right,
You're seeing like a camera dot. Yeah.
But you can see yourself, right?
Okay. So all right. So one of my friends at work, they were like saying that they're like, do you notice that I have like an RBF, right? You know what RBF is?
No.
Resting B face.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. I didn't want to be rude, so I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then she was like, she's like, oh, somebody just told me to smile more, like in the chat, right? Like directly to her. And I was like, yeah, like that's why I don't even look at other people. I'm looking at myself,
right?
Because I know that like I want to see what I'm projecting, and I don't want you to think I'm like bored at this moment or irritated at this moment.
Right.
I don't think people like are cognizantly aware of it because it's not humans. You're not like interacting with a human. You're looking at like a dot or like a screen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's funny you asked that. It's like, can you not see yourself? It's like, yeah, you can. So I don't know why nobody like looks at themselves doing this thing. Anyways, so okay, I have this question about what we did at the end. All right, so I don't know if your cousin was trolling. Remember we lifted you up and put you up and down?
Yeah.
Okay, was that real?
Like a real thing to do?
Yeah,
he's trolling you guys to do it.
Okay. So he was like, no, in our culture we do this. So I was like, oh, okay.
He convinced you to do it.
But just like the sugar and like
they might do it. They might do it.
Okay,
no, I mean like I'm sure like you could. I don't think it's like a traditional thing. I think people do it, but it's not like.
So I thought it. Okay, so I thought it was like the Jewish tradition. So I was like, when they put them on the chair and they go up and down. So I was like, okay, sure. Like this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure about that. That's the thing. They can always like trick you because you never know.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't
You're
know.
Just, like,
that's why they can just say whatever you want.
That's true. But I mean, like when in Rome, might as well.
I was confused what was happening there. I was like, what's going on?
He said like, oh yeah, we all know that this is the thing. Like, oh, okay, we all know. But it's funny. I think Wob knew he was trolling. He's like, no, don't do this, guys. And I was like, no, bro, you just don't want to be a part of it. Like, it's cultural, bro. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, that makes sense. I guess like if you do go to a different country, like they can mess with you. Like, when they're like, oh, just say this word. And then you're like, oh, what's the word mean? It means like, oh, you're being polite, but it's actually a swear word.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like, damn. It's probably like one of those moments. Okay,
it probably was, yeah. Because I didn't expect that at all, so I wasn't sure what was going on, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what the hell is going on?
When I felt your panic, I was like, oh, you don't know this is gonna happen? I was like, wait, what? Bro, you said.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else about that you want to highlight? That was pretty fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, like after the wedding, then we went to the temple, and then like she has to enter my like family house, my parents' house, right? So like that part is so even that part is like there's still stuff going on, right? Where like she has to kick the rice before entering in.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah.
Why kick the rice? What's the significance of kicking the rice?
No, I don't know. It's like a new person entering into the house, right?
No, but why you gotta
entering
kick
into the family? I don't know. I don't know the tradition. It's
okay, yeah, fair. Wait, no, do you have to kick? Like you have to kick it and make a mess on the floor, or is it like
like it's in a cup, right? This rice is in a cup, and you kick down the cup. You don't have to make a mess, but it's just like you topple it.
Oh, fascinating. So it's like when they shatter the glass in Jewish traditions.
Yeah. See, as I'm saying, like there's like similarities.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, but that's fascinating too. Even like entering your house, because it's like if we had huts, you do kind of something similar. It's like this is your new hut or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Oh, what did you think when you were putting it on? Because I know you're not like traditionally, like you
putting what on?
The garb, like the clothes.
Okay.
Like you're interesting in that like you don't portray traditionalism, but you are relatively traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would say you're more traditional than like all of us, like, but you don't have like a drishti, right? No.
What's it?
Oh, okay. No, drishti is the internal focus. What is the dot, the third eye?
Okay. Yeah.
What is that called?
I don't know. There's different. I don't know.
No, but you had like a word for it. Like
I did.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Like you put the
Yeah.
thing on the head. Forehead?
Yeah. What's that called? You told me
Uh,
once.
I don't know. I'm blanking. I don't know.
Okay, all
Can't.
right, whatever. So like you don't do like that kind of stuff, but like you do uphold traditional like activities, values, all that stuff. So like what was it like putting on the clothing? Like were you all right, my real question, I'm just so fascinated by this, like really genuinely curious. Was it like you were cosplaying or did it feel like, oh, this is correct?
Um, no, I think it's just traditional wear. Like, cause you can wear a lot of different things. It's not just one thing to wear, right? That was just a choice
Okay.
that I picked as the simplest option, kind of thing.
Okay. All right. So my explanation, like, all right, maybe I'm like explaining this differently, but so like when you're getting married or somebody's getting married in the Philippines, it's like um they give you a barong.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a see-through t-shirt
Oh,
essentially.
yeah.
Right? You seen those, right?
Yeah.
Fun fact, the reason why you wear those is because they want to make sure you don't have any weapons. So that's why it's see-through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um so when I'm wearing that, I just feel like I'm cosplaying. I'm like, okay, I have to wear this because this is what you like are telling me to wear as a uniform during the ceremony.
Yeah. Right.
But were you like, was it like a uniform or were you like did it hold any like spiritual significance to you when wearing that? You're like, oh, this feels right.
That's just traditional uniform, I'd
Oh,
say.
okay, yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, I was wondering your psychology because when I saw you, I was like, oh, I wonder what you were thinking when you were putting that on.
Mm-hmm.
If it was just like, oh, I'm just putting this on because I have to,
Mm-hmm.
or is it like, you know, like you know what I mean? Like when they tie that red
Yeah.
string on you, like some people are like channeling, energy into that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do that. Like if you see me with a bracelet, like I'm channeling energy into that bracelet, like something I want to like remember,
Oh, okay.
you know?
I see what you're doing. Yeah. No, I don't do anything like that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So even with the bracelet, you're just like, all right, tie this on me. Like we gotta tie this on.
You have to tie this. Okay, interesting. Like that's just
Oh, that's
that's
what you're
a
thinking. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was thinking too. Like as you were doing this, because I know you. So I was like, were you like I felt like you were analyzing it. Like
very
if I
much.
were
I think
you.
so. I think yeah, I
Okay.
was.
Yeah. See, I know you. I know you. Because I was like, I don't know if you're feeling like this is correct or you're like, oh, this is fascinating. This is what we gotta do. Oh, okay. Like,
Yeah, I
oh,
would
why are
say
you doing that? Oh,
that's
that's why I'm doing it. Like it was like when you watch a drama, but you were in the drama.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You were VR headsetting
Yeah,
this
that's true.
reality.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
you
true.
were thinking. That's why I wanted to ask you. I was like, I don't know which one you were thinking,
Right.
because it's actually happening to you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like usually you're watching a show, so you're like, I'm witnessing this happen.
Yeah.
Whereas like,
Yeah.
you're actually in the passenger seat of
Mm-hmm.
this one.
Yeah. I would say that. I would say it's more. I mean, in the passenger seat, or not, like the one that's happening too, but at the same time, also like I know some of the meaning behind it, where it's like I think I was doing that as well, where it's like basically it's like beginning process. You're doing some aspect like some what do you call it? Prayer stuff or chanting things or like giving stuff to gods. Where uh, and then I think the second aspect is where basically her family is giving her to us, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like all
Yeah.
of that, like I knew of that tradition stuff, so like I was seeing that happen, right, as well.
Yes. Okay.
Like
You're trying to put it into context.
yeah,
It
like
wasn't
what
like an
is this
empty
meaning?
thing.
Yeah, it's like when we moved seats, like she was sitting on the right side of me, then she moved to the left side, right? Like there was a couple of that happened where it's like I understand what's happening here, right? She's moving into my family, like that's kind of the
Interesting.
aspect of
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You can answer this question or not answer this question. On or off. I would ask you either way. So you could totally say like a pass, and I'll just ask you off. But like when you were feeling all that emotion, was it a relief? Like what were the the watery eyes about? Was that like, oh, it's done? Oh, you're a part of my family now. Like I don't
Yeah,
know
it's more like I
because I've
would
never felt
say
that, so I don't know.
I'd say it's because there's multiple times of that, right? It's not just one time. It's more like something that we were working towards.
Yeah, okay. So it's like it's yep, okay, cool, cool, cool.
And we've now here, right? Like now we're actually
Like you won the race. Like it's
yeah,
like if you're
yeah,
trying to compete and then it's like, oh, it's done.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like reaching that moment like I knew I was gonna do that. Like I know that's how I am. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, you cry at movies and stuff,
yeah,
so
so
makes sense. But like I was just wondering what was the yeah, well you answered it for me cuz like I don't know, Tara's like, "Oh, if you don't cry at your wedding, like, do you even have a soul?" And I'm like, "I don't know if I would. Like, what would it be? What would the difference be? I don't
yeah.
know. I don't
No, I
know."
think it depends on the individual. Like some people are not comfortable doing that in public, and that's not something.
I mean, crying
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
but I don't even feel like I would feel that emotion. I don't understand what because we live together and it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
nothing
yeah,
would
yeah.
change,
Right.
you know? So it's like I don't know.
I
But it makes
think,
sense when yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it like for me, yeah, because it all the lead up to it and eventually getting to this point, right? This is something that we were talking about. So it's like,
Mm. It's like when you graduate from school or something. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was hard, but we made it."
yeah, 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 yeah.
Ah, okay, okay. Okay, cool, cool. Because I wasn't sure. Like again, that was another moment where I was like, I don't know if it's like, oh, you're a part of my family now, or is it like, oh, that was stressful and we're done.
No,
You know,
not that aspect. I would say it's more like the other first one.
the family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. It's like it depends on the. It's hard because it's like there's multiple times that it happened, right? So it's like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, so like, so at pivotal. Oh, so it's like, when they handed her over to you, it's like, okay, you're a part of my family now.
hmm
Interesting. See, I wonder if like Western cultures have kind of like abolished that side of um spirituality, I would say, because if you've like I feel like if me and Tara were to get married, it would be like, but nothing would change. Like literally nothing would
yeah,
change.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like I've almost robbed myself of that moment.
Well, because
You know what I'm saying?
traditionally it wasn't like that, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like more contemporary um like where we are in society now, it's kind of like robbed us of that
hmm
like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
anticipation,
hmm
you know? Yeah, fascinating. But then it's like, I mean, like when you look at it philosophically, it's like, what does all this even mean, anyways?
hmm
You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
it's all just like a narrative that we're playing out. But that is the beauty of life, like just stories we tell ourselves, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, okay. Anything else before I ask you about Monaco? Because I'm so curious.
That's all I can remember. Like now, it's more like if you rewatch the videos, then I'll know. Like
Oh yeah, true.
they'll
Oh
probably
yeah,
jot
yeah.
back some memories. Yeah.
Do you make like a highlight video? Is like a full video? What were we doing?
Well, they had like a live videos as well as like a normal video
Oh, okay, cool.
shoot
Did you
as
watch that
well.
video or
No, no,
like
no, not yet,
what
not yet.
was? Oh, okay, okay, cool. All right. So Monaco, how was that? Was it sick?
That was
All
pretty
right,
cool.
but before we like jump into it, I didn't even know that was a place until
Or
you
Monte
said
Carlo. Have you heard of Monte Carlo? The word
no.
Monte Carlo. A lot of people know it
Yeah,
as Monte Carlo.
like a brand, like a Monte Carlo car.
I don't really
Monte
have a
Carlo's a
car.
car, right?
I don't,
Isn't it?
maybe name of a car, but
So that's all I know of.
like
I didn't
okay,
even know that was a thing. Like, or like Club Monaco. I've heard of that. I thought it was like a
right,
hotel. I
right,
didn't know
right,
it was
right.
a.
Well, yeah, the
But
name's coming from Monaco.
yeah, okay. So it. You said it was the second smallest
Yeah, it's the
or
second
first
smallest,
smallest.
smallest country after the Vatican.
Okay, yeah, because the Vatican's very tiny. Okay, so when you went there, that's where they filmed Casino Royale, you're saying?
Yeah,
The first one?
yeah.
Okay. And
I think they've
like
done
how
like multiple James Bond stuff, anything to do with casino or something like that. They've done it in
oh, it's
Monaco.
always there?
Generally, yeah, I think so.
Is there a reason why they chose it, or is it just like is there
Just
like some tax haven thing going on? Like
I'm not sure for their like the movie thing, but I think it's just because it brings luxury. That kind
oh
of
yeah, okay. It just looks nice and stuff. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay. And you said like Formula One is like filmed there.
or done there, yeah, not filmed.
Oh yeah, oh, sorry, yeah, done there. And it doesn't go away, like within the city?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
What do you mean doesn't
Like
go away?
once they built it, they don't tear it down.
So yeah, like there's still markings on the road, but they do like what do you call like the audience, like for the audience, the stands or the
Oh
sitting
yeah,
spots
of
that
course,
goes up
totally,
and
yeah.
down. Yeah, they were doing the construction on that as we were there, but I
Oh,
was
that's
like
cool.
I walked through like the pit lane area because
Oh, that's
it's just
cool.
open to the public.
Oh, sick. Okay. And how was it? Is it like what kind of culture is that?
It's it's a very rich culture. I'd say that like everything is just kept neat and like I don't
Okay.
see like because we experienced two things where like Monaco is super posh,
But
just
who's that makeup? Like, what's the makeup? Like, like, is it like Italian,
it's
French,
more French, yeah,
German?
because they're
Oh, it's
French,
French.
yeah.
Okay.
But they
Okay,
have a
cool.
lot of tourists, right? Like tourism is very big for them.
Okay.
So you're gonna find like English is not an issue
Okay. Okay, that's
in those
cool.
areas, right? Compared to like I think we went to Paris, it was a hard time like meeting people with
Oh yeah,
like
facts. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
knowing
totally.
English or something. Like even when we went
Yeah.
to like Italy, I asked like any English. No, it's like
Oh, really?
yeah.
Dang. Oh, so you were like deep in Italy. It wasn't like
Well, I feel like they would speak both because they're close to France. They would know French as well as Italian, but not English.
but where in Italy did you go?
It's
Did you go to like
called. It's a town called Ventimiglia, which is like 30 minutes from Monaco. But you can
okay.
see the difference in class
Oh, really?
because Monaco is like super rich, while Ventimiglia is like worn down. Certain areas
Oh,
looked
wow.
new, but it's like near the beach area. You had all the like a street market, like people from like Africa or like India or like they're like selling those things, but you're not gonna see any of that in Monaco.
Oh, interesting.
Like going
It's
back
weird.
into Monaco, I saw like the like officer come into the train and like just check around, make sure like there's no like
Oh, wow.
yeah
Like no,
yeah
what do you call this? Like not homeless people, but like people without a ticket that weren't supposed to be
mm-hmm.
entering.
yeah
Oh, that's cool. It's weird how like every country has their own like famous spot or whatever. Like like Las Vegas,
mm-hmm.
and then you have like Dubai, you have Monaco, you have like Macau in Asia. Like there are all these like epicenters of like wealth,
Mm-hmm. Yeah
you
yeah
know?
yeah yeah
And then like the surrounding is not so great,
yeah.
you know? Yeah, it's weird that they do that. Okay. So it's like super fancy and
Yeah, that's where you're gonna see all the yachts and stuff. There's so many
okay.
like ports for like these big yachts, and like I think the taxi cab guy was like telling us like some of these yachts are now seized by France or whatever because they're Russian oligarch
Oh.
owned.
Oh, snap. Yeah,
yeah,
I was listening about that, like how they were seizing yachts from Russians.
yeah, yeah,
Dang, that's crazy.
and they're all private
Okay.
yachts. They're like huge, right? It's like someone's there on the boat just keeping that stuff clean,
What's the price range for it? Like how
like for
much
the
is
yacht, like to buy a
no no
yacht.
no no. No no no, I mean like living expense there. Like how much is like a coffee?
She bought an espresso. It was like almost almost 10 euros, I think.
Jesus. Wow. That's a
And
lot.
like the
Okay.
malls are like look interesting. It's like there's weird stores that I would never go into, but it's like there was a
Ooh.
Gucci for kids or babies. It's like
Oh, okay. Cool,
like
cool.
it's cool. It's like I'm not gonna buy anything from you, but it's like it's
But
interesting.
how much is like I'm trying to price compare it to like the most expensive thing I've seen was Iceland when we went there. Like I got a burger and fries, and that was 30 Canadian dollars, and I was like, "What is this?"
I don't think
it's
it'll be.
literally just a burger and
Yeah, I
fries.
doubt it'll be. Might not be as expensive as that, just because it's like Iceland is a different because they have to import a lot of things, right?
That's why it was so expensive. Like I was like, "How come it's so much?" But it's like, yeah, you have to pay so much to bring stuff in.
Right.
So,
I think
so
it's
not
more like
that, or
I don't think it's no. I don't think it's that bad. No, food wise was not that bad.
okay, all right, that's cool.
Yeah, it depends where you go, but yeah, it wasn't that bad.
Okay, okay, yeah. Like in Vegas, the prices were comparable to here, but they're just in USD.
Mm-hmm.
So is it like that? It was like you'd look at the menu, it's like 40 euros, and you're like, okay, like if this
Yeah,
was,
it can be. Yeah, I feel like it depends
okay,
on the how
it's just the
popular
conversion.
yeah.
The conversion kills you because you're like, oh, this is actually like double how
Yeah,
much we're paying.
And euros
Okay.
more money than Canadian, a lot more. Or I mean, the difference.
Yeah. Like when you have to pay the conversion rate.
Yeah.
Maybe you know this, the euro. So like, let's say I'm like, is the euro universal wherever you go?
In Europe.
So like, yeah, okay. So if I work in like a crappy place and I make like 10 euros, that 10 euros is the equivalent if I go to Monaco, it's still 10 euros.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's not bad then.
Only anyone that's part of the euro uses the euro.
Right, yeah.
There are some countries that are not. There are some countries, that are not part of it within Europe.
Like Britain, they use the pound and stuff.
Well, yeah, but Britain also recently left euro, right? So even when they were part of the euro, they were using pound. They did not choose to change their currency.
Okay, interesting.
But the pound is much more value than euro.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Britain Empire, they don't want to weaken their dollar. Yeah. And any other interesting tidbits about Monaco?
It's a monarch, right? So everything was like it's safe. Like I didn't feel like anywhere at any time I was unsafe.
Oh really? Eh?
Yeah. And it's like very like I was walking this pathway, and it's like there's like a soft kind of ground on the sidewalk, and it's like, and I was like reading through like the hotel magazine where it's like those are like jogging paths, where it's like,
oh wow, that's cool.
It's designed to be soft for people that are jogging.
yeah, because like when you run on pavement, it's bad for your knees. Yeah. Wow, that's cool. Oh yeah, okay, that's actually a good question.
And like, there's the other thing too. When we first got there, we didn't know how to cross the street, right? Like here, we're used to the traffic light and like pressing the cross. There, it's like for most of the areas, like there's a very handful of areas that have traffic lights, but it's all roundabouts, right? And you just like there's a sign. It's like we just saw somebody cross it. I was like, oh, okay, we just cross it. There's no like waiting for the car. The car is going to stop for us.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like very interesting. It's like someone could drive a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce, but I'm crossing the street. They have to stop for us.
Oh, yeah. That. See, again, this is why international travel is so important. You learn like different ways of living.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we get so constructed in like how the Western world is.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, why are there no crosswalks? Why are we, universal healthcare? It's stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So like, those are pretty fascinating. You have like a soft jog lane and a like mandatory stop for cars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what else is there? Like what other like
everything was like mostly roundabouts. Everything is
okay.
Because
there's no like stoplights.
So there's a very rare spots. There are stoplights.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a handful of them. Most of the things is all just roundabouts and like one way each way, right? Because it's because it built it on the mountain side, so a lot of areas also go into the mountain. And there's and I heard like there's like roundabouts inside of the mountain parts too.
Wow, that's fascinating. Huh. What's their main style of food there? Like main all right, let me like make it relative. So like Filipinos eat a lot of like pork.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like in Portugal there's a lot of fish because it's in the harbor. Is there like did you
I
notice a
think
lot of fish there? Like,
yeah, there is a lot of fish because they're by the sea, right?
okay, yeah.
I feel
Because I
like
was like, what do you get in a mountain? Like, what do
well,
carrots? I don't know.
no, like they're still French, right? They're very much.
But is it mostly import? So you're like importing those ingredients, or is there anything that like is there like an
I think
iconic
because it's
thing that
hard to,
kept coming
it's
up?
hard. I didn't know too much because it's such a touristy place that
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
find all sorts. Like I was
You're
finding,
adhering.
yeah, I was finding Spanish food like paella because that's what I had that in Spain, and like it's here. It's like sushi was there, like everything was there,
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right?
Because it's
So
so
I think
it would be
because of the type of citizens that they have there, they can go to any of these kinds of places, right? They prefer to have all that kind of stuff versus just having French places.
so it's sort of like if you're saying like what kind of food is in Las Vegas is like whatever food you want.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, culturally, is there anything that you thought was like, I don't know, fascinating about like the way they dressed or something like that?
Well, yeah, I think they dressed. If you had the money, you're dressing very nicely. Like, what are you wearing? Like, it's some very
Okay.
rich
Oh,
clothes.
right, right.
Everybody has a dog, right? Like a tiny
Ooh,
dog. Like it's just,
oh, tiny dog.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Is it all
At
like
least most places, yeah. Most of them had tiny dogs, yeah.
mostly suits or
Uh,
actually
I,
wait, hold on. Let's go back to the dog thing because I'm wondering, is that a location thing? Like
I think
if
it's
you
like
go
a rich people thing.
no, but like some rich people like big dogs, but if you're in the city, right? Like where I am, like in the apartments, you just see tiny dogs here. But then when I go to Port Union, it's like
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
say because it's much more like building oriented, tall, all that stuff. It's like
yeah,
it's there. It's just easier with the smaller dog. There are people having bigger dogs, but it's not like you're not seeing it as
it's
often.
more
Yeah.
yeah, okay, okay, cool. All right, so like in terms of the way they dress, you were saying that it's like a lot of like fancy stuff, but is it like
Like I don't
suits?
again. I mean, I don't know if they're like tourists who are wearing fancy stuff
Oh yeah,
or are they
that's
actually local. It's hard to tell because there's so many tourists.
but can you get away with regular people clothes or is it one of
Yeah,
those okay, interesting.
yeah. Like a lot of people going into the casino were dressed up.
Okay, or like in a full suit and tie and like
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Was there a dress code? Oh no, actually you were
They do
saying
have a dress code. But I think if you're just visiting, it's okay. But like generally, if you're PL playing, they're all dressed nicely.
oh interesting. Okay, okay. You were saying too that you can't go to the casino unless you have your passport or something?
Yeah. So they
So
have
what
to check your passport when you're buying your ticket to enter into the casino.
oh you have to pay to get in the casino.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
new.
what they do is like it's just I think it was 17 euros to enter, but you get a 10 euro voucher to buy a drink or play.
Okay, okay. And why check your passport? Like you
So I
can't.
believe that what I this is what I knew before was citizens of Monaco cannot gamble.
Oh, that's fascinating. Okay, so it's like a religious thing or
No,
tax thing?
I think it's just they don't. Yeah, it's just a tax thing kind of thing. I think because there's no income tax for people of Monaco citizens, so they
Okay.
don't want you just spending your money in gambling, and
Ooh,
they
interesting.
prefer tourists to come and do that.
So I wonder if that's also like if that's tied to some sort of if it's tied to economics or is tied to religion.
I may have been due to religion because a long time ago when Monaco separated from or seceded from France, right? They had to find a way to make money because there's no more money coming in from the France government or whatever, right? So they decided to make a casino because the neighboring countries, Italy and France, had a ban on gambling.
Oh, fascinating. That's cool.
Yeah,
So it's sort of like how back then you couldn't have MMA fights on like Canadian ground, so they went to Indian reserves because it's like, okay, it's legal here.
Yeah,
so they kind of use Monaco as like a legal. Oh, that's so cool.
So they made it legal to gamble for outsiders, not their own citizens.
Fascinating. Okay. See, I wonder how this would be if you went to like Abu Dhabi or like Dubai, because religiously they can't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Right? So how does that work for people who drink alcohol?
I wonder.
You know what I mean?
think it may be the same kind of thing.
You gotta show your passport or something to buy a. Wow, that's cool. I've never even thought about that. Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's their primary income source, which is the casino there.
Well, I think the casino, and now it's a lot of tourism too, right? So it's become
is it one casino or like multiple casinos?
I think they have other areas, but this is the major one.
Okay.
Yeah. They made it look like a palace kind of thing, but they built it for the casino.
Oh, that's cool. And when you arrived, did you fly into like a different? Like, is there an airport there?
So they don't have an airport in Monaco. You have to go to the closest airport, which is Nice Airport in France, and then you can take a cab or train to Monaco. I think the train was 30 minutes. The cab's about the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Is Nice nice? Did you spend any time there?
No, we didn't spend time in Nice. No, mainly.
Did it look good or?
Yeah, it looked okay. I think it's just a normal like city.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think on our way back, like the cab like gave us like tour of like there are other towns around the area coming back towards the Nice airport. Like there's I think called Etsy place, and like there's like part of this mountain, like there's like things built on it, like a castle or like or there was like it's all rubble now. There used to be a castle there, and like it's very interesting. Like how did they build all that stuff onto that random mountain area? And then I believe there was a terrorist attack in Nice in 2016 or 15 on the promenade. Like there's this area where a bunch of people walk on. Somebody like drove through that area like before the pandemic time, but yeah. Then they put in all these kind of like barriers so no car can go into it.
So it's like not as safe as Monaco. That's what you're saying.
No, it's safe, but it's like Monaco's like much more safer. Like every area, I think like I've seen so many cops.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like AK-47s or
no. I don't think I saw guns on like that. Like carrying on top, but it's like they do have a lot of areas at their police stations, like just monitoring and watching.
Oh, okay.
To make sure everything is. Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't like brandish their weapon. Maybe it's like it would just look weird or whatever.
Yeah, because I know in Paris they do brandish there because it's more like I don't know if it's like military cops or something.
Okay, yeah. Because in the Vatican when we went, it was freaking me out because like. Well, obviously, like you're not supposed to film them, but obviously I was doing it because it's more fun that way. But like they have like their AK-47s like fully strapped on their body. They're holding on like they look like they're like army, bro.
Right.
Actually, I had my camera out, like just filming the area, and then they stopped me and they told me to like shift through my footage, and they made me delete anything that they saw. That I was like, whoa, this is gnarly, bro. But like, how are you gonna say no? Like they have all their weapons on them. Right. So, but it's not like that in Monaco.
No. Yeah.
Maybe it's because it's richer. I don't know.
I think it's because it's more richer, and it's like the police station is just like across the street, so they can just grab whatever they need to grab if they need to.
Oh, okay, yeah, true. Okay, that's
and cool. It's much more like it's very small, right? So they're mainly protecting areas that are very tourist heavy or like that kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. So no like vagabonds, homeless people there?
No, I didn't see any of that.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a gate to get into Monaco?
No.
Is it sort of like that? It's like, oh, okay.
No, because I didn't even stay. Like even our hotel was not in Monaco. It was technically in France.
Okay.
But I could just cross the street and I'm in Monaco.
Oh, so it's like fully open.
Yeah.
So all right.
So they rely on French to do all the immigration things, right? Like at the time when we entered in.
Oh yeah. But that's
it. But there's no nothing. There's no border to say this is Monaco.
Yeah. Okay. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah. 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 In the Vatican, it's the exact same. It's like within Italy, there is no like gate.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no. It's like fully open
Yeah,
once
yeah,
you go to
yeah,
the Vatican.
yeah.
You just walk right through.
Right.
You don't even know you're in the Vatican. You're just
Yeah,
like, isn't this still Italy? So it's like kind of like that
it's
too.
like that. Yeah, it's like that.
Ah. So, but it's not like you felt unsafe in where you were staying, but
No,
then safe in there.
no, no, no. Yeah,
Ah.
because it's right next to it. Like it's all part of the being part of the safe zone, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Was it rich on that side too? Like, was it
Yeah,
like
I'd
was it
say
like
yeah.
stark difference? You know what I mean? Like
No,
when you
not from
cross
where
the
I was
train
staying. No,
tracks.
no, no, no. There wasn't
Okay.
because in front of the hotel was yachts as well. So
Oh, okay, okay.
so you're
So it's
technically
like you couldn't have even told.
you couldn't have
You
even
couldn't have like,
known that there was.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was just a imaginary line between the two.
Interesting. See, I wonder where it starts to get dangerous. That would be kind of fascinating to see.
Hmm.
You know, like as you continue walking further, you're like, oh, now it's starting to get really like
I don't know.
poverty
Yeah,
ridden.
because I think it's like because it goes through the train goes under a tunnel, right?
Oh, so you couldn't even see it.
So I think once you leave Monaco, the next stop it starts to seem different. But that's you're past the tunnel now. So
Did
I
you
wonder
ever?
if the divider is the mountain itself.
Oh, maybe, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's why you don't see like homeless people because
Hmm.
they can't get past the mountain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, who's gonna like climb the
Right,
mountain?
right. And maybe they do have like people watching these areas, right? So,
Like you said, the person who's looking through the carts and stuff.
hmm.
Did you did you notice like any like unsafe pockets where it should have been safe? Like when you were like leaving Monaco.
uh, Leaving Monaco, maybe like maybe in Nice, but I don't know. I didn't spend enough time, right, to really.
Like even on the train, I mean, like as people were getting on, were you like,
I'd
oh,
say like when I
shit.
went to Ventimiglia, that's the only time where I was like, this seems a little sketch.
Oh, really, eh? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I felt that in Europe a lot. I was like, I don't know. Like I almost even got like robbed in freaking Europe. It
Oh
was like
yeah,
crazy.
no,
Yeah,
nothing like
yeah.
that happened, but it's like I could tell like it was the difference. You could easily tell the difference, like Monaco and Ventimiglia, like how the class level has really, really, really changed,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I do feel like it's a little sketch around here.
Yeah, yeah, totally. See, this is the thing. If people, you know, when they're like, "Oh, why don't we just like eliminate borders?"
Hmm.
Then you wouldn't have like this thing. Like
Yeah, no.
you know, you're like that. I right. The ideal view is like, this is the Earth. We should all just live on this Earth. It's like, no, this border is literally protecting me from like weirdos.
Hmm.
And there's a reason why Monaco is safe because you cannot cross here without,
Yeah,
you know, a passport.
right.
We need the borders, no
Hmm.
matter how much people like idealize that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because imagine like all those impoverished people just running through Monaco stealing stuff because they're like, well, you're richer than me.
Yeah, I don't think that would be working because like it just. I don't think that would like you want to keep a certain amount of certain people here, right? Certain type of people here. If it feels any kind of unsafeness, because these people are
Yeah.
working around with like Gucci bags, right? So it's like
Yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah,
it's
exactly,
like a
exactly. Like why would I subject myself to pickpockets or
exactly.
whatever?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, was it oh I real all right, this will have to wait till next. We're gonna stick to this. I have like some other things that I want to blow your mind with, but it'll wait till next week. We'll stick with this. Um, what what was the safety level in terms of like they say in Singapore, you know, you could leave your laptop for hours and nobody will touch it. Is it kind of like that feeling?
I'm not sure. Like I don't know how tourists are gonna be like, but yeah.
Oh yeah, true. I guess other tourists were. Did you hear anything about like laws there?
No,
Like is like all right, so like is like weed illegal there?
uh, not to my knowledge.
Can you
I
drink
don't
on the
know.
street? Can you drink on the street?
Uh, I did see anyone doing that.
Oh wow, interesting. So they really keep it like proper.
I think they do. Maybe there's certain areas you can do that, but I don't know. I would say I don't know enough to know like what the rules are for that.
But okay, so it's not like Okay, so like Las Vegas
Because
has a
a lot
lot
of
of
the time,
money.
like in these areas, what tends to happen is, um, after when the sun goes down, when the sun sets,
Yeah.
most things are closed.
Oh,
Most things. There will
okay.
be certain things that will be open, but like it's most of the stuff
Like you can't
is
even buy anything? Is there like CVS stores, restaurants open?
there might be some restaurants, but they will also be like probably closing by 9 or 10. Like if
Oh,
they stay if they
interesting.
stay open at all. Like you probably find the latest thing open is like probably like McDonald's.
But like what time are you looking at?
I'm thinking about like 10, maybe 11. I don't remember the exact time, but it's
That
like
makes sense. Okay. Ooh, this is so interesting. So it's not like because I was thinking like,
we were trying to go to another restaurant like close by. Maybe the hours do change like when it gets busy time, like busy season.
yeah, yeah.
But we went to the. It was like we're Fini is closed. Fini. It's like,
Really?
and it was like around I think 7, 8, maybe something like that. 7:30 or 7. I don't remember. It's like Fini.
Wow. Okay. Wow. 7:30. So it's almost like an. Oh wait, what time do they open though? Maybe they open early, like
They
5
open
a.m.
early. Yeah. I think
Okay. Okay.
they generally open. Like a lot of places are open early. Yeah. As soon as the sun is up, like things start to open up. I
So
think.
it's sort of like old. It's like a old people. It's like an old people vibe.
Yeah. It's a
So
yeah. It's a
because I was
Europe
thinking
vibe.
like
I feel like this is a lot of places in Europe is like that too. Um, and this is like in the like city, but it's like
right. Okay, I see what you're saying. Because I was trying to compare I was like, is it like a Vegas kind of vibe? Whereas but like Vegas, you get like
no.
drunk people and like people in the streets.
Yeah.
It's like kind of ridiculous. But like this sounds more like I don't know how else to put it, but like old people. Because it's like you're eating at 7, like you're
Yeah, I don't think
closing at
it's. I
7. It's
wouldn't.
like
It's. I feel like it's a Europe thing. I think it's just like the work life balance is very different there to here,
oh, fascinating.
right?
Okay,
It's a hustle and bustle. Like here, you're working as hard as you
grinding it
can.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but over
yeah.
there, it's like, yeah, I'm done after this time. Finished.
Wow. Okay. Are they friendly there, or did you find that they're so like I found in Italy, it was like they're kind of rude.
I think I don't know. I was not paying attention to people's faces, but Thivia was saying that they seemed not happy or like they're
Okay,
right. It's like
like kind of
yeah, but
you're
like
wasting
there
my
are people that
time.
were nice though. Like I was trying to use the bus and someone was helpful. Like oh no, you do it this way, like whatever, right? So it's um like there were good people or nice people, I'd say. But like
But maybe they were
I
tourists
think
though.
uh, I don't know if they're tourists or like they're coming from outside in to work. Like it could be something like that,
Oh yeah. Okay.
right?
Cool.
But it's I think the rich people were more like you know what I mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
have
yeah.
that
It's like
face kind of
looking
thing.
down on you, kind of
Yeah.
like you're not rich like me. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. Can you like walk the whole thing, or is it something you need to? I'm
You
doing recon because my next trip is probably gonna be here. I'm just kidding. But like, it sounds fascinating. Like, I would love to see this. I didn't know a place like this existed.
it's like a maze. You could
Oh, really?
as
Okay.
long once you get used to the routes, then you can get around. But it's because it's so hilly and like like you can walk this way or
Oh,
that way. Like
interesting.
if you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
the
yeah.
shortcuts, you can probably get around much more easier.
Okay.
But like the
Okay.
bus was really good. Um, like I think like it's very helpful for tourists. Like if you just want to pay, like you can enter and pay cash and they'll give you the change. Right here, it's
That's
like you
cool.
can't. You got to pay like exact change, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
and it was like two
Oh,
euros per trip. But you can buy like I had like a download of the app. You can buy the like a I don't know like 30-minute pass or a day pass or whatever it is, and it
but
just you can
but
use your phone.
but you couldn't. So you couldn't walk around. It's better to use transit.
It's just faster to get around. Like I mean, like you could walk around, but it's gonna take time because you're going up and down hills, right? Where it's like let's
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, I get what you're saying. Because like when you said it's the second smallest,
yeah.
I was like, okay, but like Vatican is very small. So I
Hmm.
was thinking in terms of that, like
It's not flat.
you could just
Yeah, the thing is,
yeah,
it's not
exactly.
flat.
So like the area, sorry, the area is a lot, but the location, like topographically, it's small.
Yeah,
So you have to like walk up and down, up
Mm-hmm,
and down.
mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Is it a is it like a subway kind of thing or a train? Like, is it like underground or
Yeah, the
do you like
train is
hit
in.
the trolleys? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is it buses
Yeah,
or is it
buses generally.
subway?
No,
Oh,
buses
okay,
for the above ground. They don't have subways. They just have that one train stop, right? That's coming in from like France or and then
okay,
going to Italy. Like that's just the only one train.
okay, okay. Interesting.
So because they don't need subways because everything is with the bus you can get there very quickly.
Okay, okay. All right. I I have to jump in 8 minutes, but I'm gonna ask you some logistical questions because now I'm really fascinated. Um, how much time do you think you need to spend there to see everything? Like, is it like a 2 day thing? You're like, oh, you could have just done that in 2 days.
Yeah, as if you've planned out the thing, you can probably do it in 2 3 days. Like there isn't like
That's like a weekend, so I don't even need to take a week off work. Like, I should
yeah, you could. Yeah, you
take a
could.
long weekend.
Sure. If you know what you got to plan out what you're doing, and then if you know the
But I
route,
mean, like,
yeah,
but the time, it's not like like you could do Vegas on a weekend kind of thing. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's not like it's not like
Yeah,
you
I'd say
should
that. Yeah,
spend
yeah, yeah.
time.
Because it's not. There's not like there's a few museum places, and then um, in the palace, right? Like
Okay,
yeah,
and then that's basically it. Like, you're
that's
good to go.
about it. In yeah, unless you want to go to like all the shops and stuff.
Okay, how hot was it?
The maximum temperature was about 18, 19 degrees, and it got
Okay, it's not
till
bad. So you could bring
so
like a
like
sweater.
so in the morning you're good. And most people had like a sweater or like a small like a light jacket on throughout the whole day because at evening time it kind of gets a little bit cooler, like 10, 11
Yeah.
degrees at this
Do you need
time.
like a windbreaker or?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Oh, okay.
That's all you
So it's
probably
kind of
need.
windy. No, I mean, like, is
At
it like windy? Is
times,
it like?
yeah, at times you can
Ah,
see
darn.
if the waves are there. Yeah, you can see there's some wind there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, and then how much would you say it would cost you? Like, what's a ballpark range for like a flight in there plus your like? Am I looking at like 5 grand for a weekend, or am I looking at
No, I don't
like?
think that's too much. Wait, including
Okay.
flight and everything?
Yeah, flight, food, like how much, like transit. Yes.
Um, well, like my flight and stay was like 5 days stay, I think it was, and the flight was about 3,000.
Jesus. Okay,
That's actually
pass.
pretty good. So
3 G's though. Oh man, 5 days.
and that's just staying.
Not
That's not
bad.
food.
Oh, look, I'm so dark.
That's not food.
Um. Okay, so how much?
And it was
How
a
much do you
deal,
think you
and
spend on
it was
food?
technically a deal because it's actually
Oh
it was
my
going up in
goodness.
prices.
All right,
And
so
and
you're
if you
saying
go in May, it's even more expensive because they have the
okay,
Grand Prix at that time.
so you're saying this is like a Dubai kind of thing. This is like, oh, you got to prep for this one.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in some way.
Okay,
Yeah.
because like Vegas, you can do like $200 trip. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. We'll just like head to Vegas, you know? Okay.
No, this is a international. You're flying far, right?
Oh yeah, you said it was like 7 hours, right?
Yeah,
By plane.
yeah.
Did you have
There
a
isn't
big
like a direct
plane?
flight to Nice, so you have to like either you're going through Paris as a transit.
What was it? A big plane? Like you had TVs and stuff? Like an
Yeah.
international? Okay, cool, cool. Damn, 3,000 is a lot of money
I
though.
mean, to Paris was bigger plane, but then they use a smaller plane from Paris to Nice,
Yeah.
which is like
Okay.
a couple hour and a half flight, I think.
Okay. Okay, maybe not then. Like it's sounding really expensive. I was like, okay, maybe I'll plan my next trip there. But
It
it's like,
can,
oh,
yeah, if you're
three
just going
G's is a
there, yeah.
lot, bro. Okay.
But that was like what Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, 4 nights. Oh, yeah, something like that.
So I'd be like in that ballpark range because it would be like a Friday off and a Monday off. So I'd have
Yeah.
Friday,
You
Saturday,
gotta look
Sunday,
for
Monday,
deals, though,
4.
right? Yeah, because the prices were going up, and I was rechecking them.
Oh, dang. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right, but food wise, how much do you look at spending?
Food depends on where you're gonna eat, so it all depends. You can
Okay, yeah, fair.
it
That's true.
ranges. It really does.
You like lost me with the 3,000. I was getting all excited. I was like, oh, it sounds really cool, man. I'm like, oh, 3G's like, no, that's not cool.
Oh, that wasn't that bad, like comparatively
How about
other
like,
places.
but that's like me going to the Philippines or something, you know?
No,
Like
people
3G's,
like
you know?
spending. I think my manager was saying like, I think they went to like Punta Cana or something
Oh, that's cool.
for like a few days, but that was like a lot more than what I paid.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's an all inclusive though, right?
That's Mexico, right?
Something like that. I don't know. Somewhere like
Okay.
one of those resorts in the south.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, any last thing about Monaco?
Yeah, I really liked it. It was really good.
Yeah. You go back or is it like a one and done kind of thing?
I mean, there's a lot of other places to see. I would go back, but there's like what am I? I gotta go to Japan. I gotta go to like there's so many places.
Yeah, true. Yeah, facts. Yeah, okay, yeah, fair.
Like now, this is the first trip finally out of the country after the
I
pandemic,
know.
right?
Dude, you know what's crazy? Like, so we had the pandemic and then this was the first year I'm like starting to fly again. And within this like basic 1 year stretch, like I'm gone to like it's almost like now we're revving back up. You
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah,
like for the 2 years you're kind of like, oh, this will never happen again. I'll never get to travel. And then now that like things are back open, it's like flight, and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah.
But it was like so unintentional, you know? It
But
almost
they're not
seems
even
like
back at full level, like I mean full capacity as they used to be.
oh yeah, no, totally, yeah, for sure. But it's like it's a good signal that that things are going back. However, it'll be for next week when we start talking about like economics and stuff. Okay, I guess last thing, did you fact check when Sydney was like that they're not going to take the USD anymore?
Um, but this has been talked about for a while, though, right?
I know. When I
This is
went,
not old
okay,
news.
yeah, okay. So when I searched it, I was like, this goes back to 2012. I was like, so this is why I said, send me the article. I was like, what are you looking at? Because like they've been talking about
But it
this.
depends on like what you have on your social media, right? So who's pushing what and what they're trying to say. It's like
Yeah, facts. But that was the thing I sent you yesterday about that.
like I read like also like do you remember the whole train thing that Bob brought up? The train derailment in Ohio. All
Yeah,
this.
yeah, that's old though.
No. But the reason it came back up was what I heard was that this was pushed from Russian
Oh,
to create
fascinating.
more like
Yeah, animosity. Yeah.
turbulence inside of America. Yeah.
That's the thing, man. You can't trust what you see online. Even like, I didn't even think about that when the person was like, so is Joe Rogan? All right, this is the last thing because I really have to go. So Joe Rogan was saying how like he learned about school systems from his daughter because she's like, oh, I saw this on TikTok, Dad, and then he watched it, he's like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then Jamie, who like is the producer, she's like, I saw that too, I fact checked it, it wasn't real. And then they were like, oh, you gotta like, they get you with that video, you know, you're like, oh, this is the truth. And then now we just have to ask ourselves like,
No, like that, like that's what I was saying. Like
you know what I
even
mean, like that's
there's a lot.
wild.
I've seen those videos where they make them look like they're on Joe Rogan,
See, that's trippy, bro.
right? And you don't even know it. And I was like, and like he was like saying things because he's trying to sell whatever vitamin or something.
Yeah.
And you hear Joe Rogan saying like agreeing or think they're just chopping out those parts, right? But
Totally.
they never show him in the video.
Yeah. All right. Oh my god! All right, I gotta go. But all right, last thing. This is so fascinating. But like, in kind with that, I realized that that's what reality TV show does. But they're doing it to like it's the same tactic in reality TV shows because you're filming for. So we're watching Love Is Blind, right? So you don't actually they don't see each other, right? And they're capturing. But do you know the premise of the show? They're in pods. So basically they're in pods and then they can't see each other and they're having this conversation and they fall in love, right? So, but you're filming one person and you're filming another person. So you can literally cut up the conversation however you want it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I was, when
this is
we
the trick
realized that, it was like, wait,
yeah.
Well, you can't do that in person with in-person shows because like you're getting the reaction. So I need to fill the reaction. Like it would be kind of hard to stitch. You could still do it, but it's hard to stitch like a in-time reaction. But because you have separate audio and video, you could stitch whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, like you're like, oh, my mother died. Haha, that sucks. You know, like
yeah.
But it was, he said, haha, that sucks, to something completely different. You're just like, let me just chop this right here. What you're seeing with the videos with like the Joe Rogan thing.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
The exact
same thing. Yeah, same thing. One thing I'll say about the bricks thing,
yeah.
I don't know. Like a lot of people that talk about it, they think nobody really knows anything. The bricks, like the money thing.
Brazil, Russia. Oh yeah, brick. Yeah. Brazil, Russia, into China. Yeah.
I think one thing that people think of all these things as if they know what they're talking about, but also like the reason also why like the American economy and all that stuff is all stable, like for a very long time, was they're not fighting with neighboring countries.
That's true too. Yeah, facts.
And
true.
They don't have that in these BRICS nations.
Yeah.
India, China have a lot of issues still going on today. So it's like,
oh yeah, true. Yeah, fair. Yeah, true. Okay, we'll pick this up next week. There's so much to talk about in terms of, but congratulations on your marriage. Stoked you had an awesome Monaco experience. I was gonna go when you said 3,000. I was like, I'm not going. That's too much money, bro. Like, what are we doing? I could just go to Asia for that. Like, yeah, especially for 4 days. I'm like, damn. I mean, no, it's really cool that you saw it, but like, I was thinking like maybe I can go for a weekend. Now I'm like, oh, maybe not.
Well, it depends on what you do. Maybe you go. And I seen like Airbnbs for like one of the yachts or some boats.
That's kind of cool. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, yeah. All right, I'll plan it out. All right. Anyways, all right. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.
Bye. All right. Hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all those fun things, and check out our sponsors: Zenro Clothing Co., Portian Bakery, and Podbean. Take it easy, Vish.
Peace.